I started a bunch of flowers that are annuals from seed this year, and I am in love with a bunch of them, and I definitely want to try them next year. So right about now, the end of August, beginning of September is when I am trying to save seeds from them, and I am excited to show you how I do that. I am definitely not a professional when it comes to saving seeds from flowers, but I have tried this before and I have had success. So one of the things that I know that I have to do before I start saving the seeds is wait until the blooms are completely brown from the stem all the way to the flower. As you can tell here, I have two examples. One is completely brown, ready for me to save seeds from, but the other one is still green. The flower is done for the season, but it's not quite ready to save seeds from. So I am going to try and get as many of the dead blooms as I can in order to have success next year. Another plant that I am going to try to save seeds from is this scarlet sage salvia. The hummingbirds absolutely love this plant, and I am going to start them again next year. I have 3 plants here that I started from seed, and as you can tell, they're quite tall. They're about 4.5 feet tall, and they spread nicely. So I am going to save seeds from this plant for the first time. I don't have a lot of experience saving seeds from my own plants. I have done a few, but not a lot. So I am just trying to get as many of the dry blooms that don't have any more blooms happening on them. So hopefully I have good luck next year and I can start a bunch more from them as well. And as I am cutting the blooms, I'm just making sure that the whole bloom is already past their blooming point. And these brown paper bags are so handy when I'm doing this because I can just put a bunch of them in here of the same plant and I don't have to worry about much. My cannas are definitely done for the year, and as you can tell, I have plenty of seeds to choose from here. I will show you here in a minute how the seeds look like. The nasturtiums here in my containers have definitely seen better days. They are definitely done. I could have pulled them out before, but I really wanted to collect some seeds from them, so I am just letting them be. And I'll show you how it's super easy to collect seeds from nasturtiums. So the plant is going to start to bloom, as you said before, and it's going to make these beautiful little round seeds. These are basically the seeds that you can collect from them. As always, when they first start coming up, they're nice and green, and as soon as you're able to easily get them off of the vines, then they're ready to be collected. And sometimes they're not really visible, but you have to kind of move the plant around and you are able to see them here. See, ones are really easy to get off the vines and they're ready to go. Right here I have 7 seeds that I can try to start next year, and hopefully if they all take, I will have 7 plants here. But if not, if at least half of them do take, then I have enough for these containers again. And sometimes what I do is that I just move the plant, and you can tell that a lot of the seeds have dropped on their own. And I got a bunch more here. So these are the seeds that I will be collecting from this one nasturtium plant. So these are the zinnias that I just cut from the main plant. And I know that a lot of people, what they do when they collect seeds is that they just save them in these paper bags, just like they are like this. And they let them be until the next year, and that is fine. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to show you how the seeds look like. That way you can easily do them at home. And it rained for the last couple of days, so some of these are somewhat still a little bit wet. And I think that I could have left these flower seeds there for a couple more weeks because they're not quite coming off of the bloom easily. And what you want to do is you want to have the seeds just fall off on their own without having to fight it too much. But I am going to save some of these. They still feel a little bit wet. These are a lot of seeds. I definitely do not need all of these. And what I'm going to be doing, this is not the only time that I'm going to be saving seeds from these zinnias. What I'm going to do is that I am going to go back here in a couple of weeks and look at the flowers. And ideally, like I mentioned, you want to have this part be completely brown. But just to show you, and like I said, I'm going to be trying to collect a few more in the next few weeks. See how this one comes off really easy? That's what you want. That way they breathe and they just stay here. And when I collect a few more of the same type of zinnia, I am going to be adding it to this bag. These are the Strawflowers. And there is a lot of stuff here that is just extra. You can tell the seeds. I don't know if you can tell very well. A lot of this stuff is just extra, but the seeds are actually all these little black dots there, extended dots. Okay, so I think this is good. So for these guys right here, I know they still have a lot of extra stuff in there, but that's okay. I took as much as I could right now. I'm not gonna spend any more time doing this. And I actually, for these seeds, I'm actually going to save them in these little glass containers. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They were on sale. They have the lids, so I really think they're kind of cute. And if I can get the seeds in there, then that's great. So I have the seeds here. Like I said, I have plenty of them there to share and to start my own for next year. These right here are the canna seeds, and I want to show you how they start looking. The cannas start looking like this. You will see like the little pods of the seeds starting to show on your plant. They are not ready like this. You have to wait until the green pods turn into this dark brown color. And what happens is that when you try to get the seed out of these green pods, they're not ready. I can't even quite open it. But when they are brown and when they're ready, the seeds, which are these black little balls, they are a nice black color. And I already started collecting canna seeds from the plants that I have there, because like I said, it's not just 1 week where you can do this. Is as soon as you see the seeds being ready, or in this case the pods being nice and brown, you can just collect them. And I know that a lot of people did not know. I got a lot of comments from when I started the cannas from seed. A lot of you guys didn't know that you can start cannas from seed. I know that a lot of people just buy the roots or the tubers, whatever they're called, in the spring, and they just put those straight into the garden. I guess you could do that. I have never done that. So for me, starting them from seed is just a lot easier. So these right here are the seeds that I collected from the canna seeds. You can tell I have at least a couple of dozen there. This is probably, that's probably enough for me to start for next year. I have plans to add a lot more cannas next year. So these right here are plenty. I don't have to spend any more money on buying seeds for cannas. I do have, like I mentioned, I already have a bunch of them already. But remember, for cannas, just wait until the seed pods are completely brown versus them being green. These right here are the salvia, the scarlet sage salvia, and you can already tell here the seeds. They are these little dots, and the seeds are actually inside these little guys here. What I'm going to do is I am basically going to just get these little pieces here off, and I am going to try to just break them so that the seeds can be released onto the paper. And you can tell here at the bottom I got a bunch of seeds. This right here, you'll be able to tell which are the seeds. And I'm going to try to get just enough for myself, which I have plenty here. And right here, I don't have to spend any money next year to get the seeds that I want. And these are, well, you already saw them. These are the Nasturtium seeds. I am going to be going back to that plant, just making sure that I get all of the seeds that I can possibly get. There you go. And I have at least 2 more different types of nasturtiums that I would like to save. So I'm going to be going back and doing the same thing that I did. So these right here are the double white marigolds. Look at that, that's tons of seeds. And they feel a little bit, not quite wet, but a little bit damp. So I am going to make sure that I give them time to breathe and time to dry completely. Look at that. Do you see this? I have the Snapdragon seeds here, and you know, I cut them and I put them in this bag, and now that I'm emptying the bag, you can already tell that some of the seeds are at the bottom of the bag. And yes, if you're thinking that's a lot of time, you know, but these are free, you guys. I mean, these are free seeds that nature is allowing you to have, so that you don't have to spend any money next year. I mean, I know that I love these snapdragons, and I know that I saved a lot of seeds last year from snapdragons. So this is super easy to do, and I know that a lot of people, they just wait until the fall, they cut the flowers and they put them in bags, and sometime in the winter when they have more time, you know, inside, they can just take the time to separate the seeds from everything else here, like what I'm doing right now. So even though it doesn't look like much, these are the short snapdragon seeds that I just collected, and I have some extra stuff there that are not needed, and that's okay. What I'm going to keep on doing here in the next few weeks is that I'm going to keep on collecting the same snapdragons, and I'm going to keep the seeds here, and I got definitely plenty of them, you guys, for free. Another plant that I am trying to collect seeds from are these gorgeous yellow double coneflowers that I got. I'm going to post a couple of pictures here so you can see what they look like. And these are the flowers that are already done for the season. And I know they're perennials. I have never tried coneflowers from seed. So if you have, and if you have any experience with them, just let me know. Give me some tips, because I can definitely use all the help that I can get as far as starting coneflowers from seed. And when it comes to coneflowers, I normally will not start my own from seeds. I could just go and, you know, spend $10, $15 at the store for a plant that already, you know, it's huge and blooming. But this variety, these yellow ones, I haven't seen them around. I found some at a local nursery and I fell in love with them. I have them in front of my house, and I decided that I am going to try to start a few more plants. And I have definitely way too many seeds here. I checked a few videos on YouTube about people that have done this before, coneflowers specifically, and some of them swear that you have to do the cold stratification, meaning you have to give them the seeds a period of cold, like put them in the fridge. Other people mention, no, you don't have to do that. That's absolutely not necessary. I think that I'm going to try both. But if you guys have any tips for me as far as starting coneflowers from seed, just please let me know in the comments. So I have a few seeds here, you guys, that I am going to try to save seeds from next year, and I'm excited. I am happy to try them and see how they do. These are free. I don't have to spend any more money on trying to get seeds for next year. I know that I love all of these plants because I tried them already this year. I am very excited about all of these, and I am also going to be probably buying a bunch more seeds of annuals to start next year. But right now I know that I have plenty for next year for my own garden and to share a few for a couple of seed swaps. If you guys have any questions as far as saving seeds, like I say, I'm not like a super experienced gardener when it comes to saving seeds, but I have done a few and they have been successful, so I'm excited to try this. And thank you guys for being here, and